episode of the InLove with Words podcast, where we work to eliminate the negative stereotypes that are commonly associated with hip hop while paying homage to the value its lyrics have had on society. I am your host, Chris D. As always, I'd like to start this off just as gratitude and thanks to those of you all who have your ears on this, whether it's a return visit or not, or if this is your first time. I appreciate you for being here. And I hope this isn't your last time. And I hope whatever I give to you today, you're able to take it and implement it and push it in your own life. Man, so um, today's episode, I know last week we talked about gratitude. Um, this is more so of trying to figure out how do we tap back into not only ourselves but just society. And what we're going to focus on today is the word connection. Um, the song that we're going to be going through, man, it comes from an artist that I've been listening to for at least well over a decade now, maybe 2007 or 8, something around there. I may have heard him for the first time, and he was always making a buzz. I had a couple other people telling me about him, but I never really dug into him. But once I did, man, I was hooked forever. Y'all know I'm a lover of words first and foremost, but definitely the storytelling and the lyricism that goes into music. And this artist, he embodies all of that. He knows how to tell a story. He knows how to come with the bars, the witty rhymes, the just way he connects everything is just golden to me. So the name of the song that we are going to be going over today, it is called "The Internet Is Gone." Man, it comes off of his album, one of his albums he dropped. Man, I was about to say last year, but nearly 2 years ago, so 2021. He dropped it on April 30th of 2021, and the name of the album was actually April. Um, Man, this dude, he this album came out uh, of a creative spirit that I guess he had, but I think it was so much needed after everything that we went through in 2020, and he decided to starting in January of 2021, he decided that every month he was going to drop an album. I think all of his albums had anywhere between like maybe 7 and 11 songs, but every month he consistently dropped an album. And what was even more amazing, out of those 12 albums that were dropped, man, I don't think any of them were a slacker album. Like they all can be placed in rotation and listened to, and your head would start bobbing, and you would start vibing with it. But off of this particular album, April, like I said, the song that we are looking into today is called "The Internet Is Gone." So, without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce y'all to who this artist is that I'm talking about. And those of y'all who are true hip hop heads and really listen to music and really explore these artists out here just by me exposing to you what he did in 2021 with those 12 albums throughout the year, you probably know who I'm talking about. But for those of y'all who don't, let's go ahead and get into it. So, like always, I just want to introduce him as the world knew him before he became the celebrity figure that he was. And he was born into this world as, excuse me, Mr. Shamel Mackey. If you don't know, of course, who that is, and most people don't, because all we hear is the artist name. But I wanted to give that government name, just as always, like I say, to remind y'all that these are true human beings that are laying down these lyrics and putting these stories to y'all ears. But those of y'all who don't know who Mr. Shamel Mackey is, he goes by the artist name of Papoose, and like I said, this dude has been in my ears for about '07, so that's about 15 years now. Yeah, about 15 years I've been listening to him, and from mixtapes to the actual studio albums that he has put together, he has always delivered. He has always put forth something that is meaningful, and and holds value, and I think provides enlightenment. So I mean, not only after this episode do y'all need to go and check out this song, but y'all just need to go in and pay homage to his catalog and listen to what he has to say, because he has been delivering some cold pieces of work for, like I said, over a decade. But getting into the song today, "The Internet Is Gone." Um, like I said, our topic today is connection, and I feel like this song really tapped into where we are as a society today, where we are as a generation of people, and the actual disconnection that we have just because of all of the technology that we have and all the advancements that we have at our hands and at our disposal. So when you before we go into these bars, let's first of all look into what the word connection even means. And the primary definition of connection is a relationship in which a person, thing, or an idea is linked or associated with something else. Simple, right? Just as we all know, connecting, putting one piece with another and making it one, and creating that bond. But I feel like with technology, we have definitely lost that connection in so big of a sense with people, And as we go into the song, he really, excuse me, he really kicked it off with the very first two lines that he has in the song, um, and he goes into saying, well, actually, let's start with the hook. Let's start with the hook. So the actual hook of the song, he says, "Everything is in a cloud, iCloud, SoundCloud. Used to take a walk, now we just internet browse. Don't even know our way around, we use GPS. We don't even talk, we send a text." And the last bar where he said, "We don't even talk, we send a text." I have been in so many environments where, and y'all see it every single day, where people are in the same room, shoulder to shoulder with each other, but they're communicating by sending a DM, sending a text message, and not even verbally communicating. And even though I'm not trying to down on technology, because I can guarantee you technology has advanced so much and it is so beneficial to society. Technology is what allows me to be able to get on here and give y'all this podcast every week and get on here and share my thoughts to not only my circle but just out to the world. So I'm definitely thankful for where we are with internet. But when you look at the the use that we have given it, and the overusage that we've given it, we have in that everything that we've gained, we have lost a connection with people. Because um, I was talking with somebody a while ago, and we were just having a conversation about, man, how did we survive before we had GPS, before we could just plug an address in our phone and find a location. Because I know when I was younger, I don't know how I found some of the locations. I was invited to parties, all types of things, and people would say, yeah, go here, exit this street, make a left at that stop sign, you go past the Jack in the Box, and then boom, there you are. And we found it. We got there, no problems. We may have got lost a couple of times, but we ended up eventually getting to our destinations without having to punch it into a phone. And it's just so crazy that so much has changed, and it makes me feel like an old timer. So much has changed just in my lifetime that we have gone from that learning how to listen and follow directions and take directions from someone else to, man, we can just plug it in and we are automatically guided to where it is that we need to go. Or if we don't feel like having a full on conversation with someone, which is another thing that has faded away, just the nature of talking to people. We send a quick text message, and some people send paragraphs of text messages, and it confuses me sometimes. I'm like, just call and say it. Just call and say it. But I really believe that the reason why that is so commonplace is because texting and all these other forms of technological communication allows us to not deal with the confrontation that comes with conversation. We can get our whatever it is we have to say, and we don't have to worry about a rebuttal or somebody coming back, because if they text you back and you don't like what they say, you really have the right and the ability to just ignore it and don't even respond, which sometimes it happens. But when he said that, that we don't even know our way around, we use GPS, we don't even talk, we send a text. It just it carries into the actual first two bars that he mentioned in the song, and he says, when you're in a room full of people, you won't feel so alone, because everybody's head won't be buried in their phones. So let me backtrack a little bit and give y'all a little prequel of what this song is really talking about. So in this song, he's saying it's a big what if song. What if technology was gone? What if we didn't? What if the internet shut down tomorrow and we didn't have access to all of the social media sites? We didn't have access to get online and do anything. What would the world be like? What would the world be like if we went back to, like I was saying earlier, to just having to communicate with somebody, having to build that connection and follow directions and listen and be attentive and intentional in your attentiveness. What would happen if the world went like that just tomorrow? So with those first two bars, and he's saying, when you're in a room full of people and you won't feel so alone because everybody's head won't be buried in their phones. Um, I'm a people watcher, and it's a lot of times that I go to places and I sit and I try to be present in the moment. It's hard. It's like second nature to pull that phone out. But sometimes I just sit and I watch, and I see that nobody is acknowledging anybody. Nobody is, noticing anyone in the room. And this could be whether you're in a room full of people that you know and that you love, or if you sitting at the dealership waiting to get your oil changed or something. Nobody is speaking to anybody. Everybody has their earbuds in, their AirPods in, and locked into their own zone. And it's just sometimes I notice it and I'm like, man, it's just I don't want to say a cold feeling, but it is a feeling of like, man, it's just I'm in my own zone. And that's something that I feel has definitely impacted society a lot, just because people don't people just don't even greet anymore. People don't walk into the room and just speak to the room in general, like, hey, how is everybody doing? How are y'all doing today? That vibe is, it happens, I see it, but for it to be a consistent thing, it does not happen anymore. And that's because people are so locked in and plugged into their technology. And what would we do if we didn't have access to our phone? Um, like on those instances where I'm sitting there and just people watching, or let's say this is the one that really makes me laugh. Um, if I go into a restaurant, let's say I called in an order or something for some food, and I go into a restaurant and I don't have my phone, whether I didn't take it out of my pocket or I left it in the car or whatever, and I'm just standing there. There have been a few times where, man, I just get these looks like, what is he up to? What he doing? Um, why he just standing there like that? And I don't think it has anything to do with me being a black man, although it may have something to do with it. But I ain't much gonna go there with that. Um, but I think we have gotten so accustomed to people having their heads buried in their phone that when we see someone just looking around or just standing there or just being a person and observing their environment, we see that as that gives a level of discomfort, a level of unease, like what's going on, what's happening here, and to me that's a shame, man. That is definitely a shame that people can't just be people anymore. People just can't be a human anymore and kind of take in the vibe. without it being seen as weird. And you know, I don't know how to explain it. It just really confuses me and baffles my mind. Um, and for those people who are in their phones, you got to wonder, what is it that's so attractive in our phone? What is pulling us to our phone so much that we have to stay so addicted to it? Because I believe it's an addiction. Why are we so addicted to it? And it goes into what another set of bars that Papoose goes into, and he says, "Put on your seatbelt. Imagine if the internet crashed. You would have to go back to being yourself instead of trying to be somebody else." And that is what it is, in my opinion. That it's the it's the constant feed of information of seeing other people do things, which you can feel how you want to feel about it, but I really feel that that has had a lot to do with the mental health rise, because now everyone is seeing people only posting the good stuff. They're only posting when they're on the trip. They're only posting when they just out of the beauty shop or the barber shop and got their hair cut or their hair done. They're only posting the cleanest pair of shoes that they have, or the nicest outfit they got. There may be just that one outfit or whatever, but we see that as we're scrolling on social media, we're scrolling all through the internet, and for some people they internalize that and take it to a point of self-doubt within themselves and looking into themselves and saying, I'm not worthy, I don't have enough because I'm 25 or I'm 35, and these people that I see scrolling on my screen, they have all these things. They look like they got it together. What's going on with me? Why is my life not looking like that? What mistakes have I made? And it begins this cycle that people start to fall into, as far as just questioning who they are, what they've done, regardless of what their achievements are. And I feel like we need to break away from that, because it is a facade, man. It is a facade. Like, unless you following somebody on the camera 24/7, and even then, I don't think you would be get like, you got all these reality shows and everything where they, Big Brother type stuff where they follow the person around for 24 hours. Even then, I don't even think they're being always their 100% genuine self, because it's hard to be truly you when you got a camera in your face. It's almost second nature to want to put on a performance in so many words. So I really feel like if we can break away from just seeing everything and internalizing that as a strike against us, because we don't have what we see on the internet, we don't have what we see on social media. If we can tap back into ourselves and, going back to what we were discussing last week, have a little gratitude for where we are and the achievements that we've made, I believe it could really correct, not even correct, help a lot of these people who are going through depression, anxiety, and all these different mental emotions because of what they're seeing on the TV screen. I mean, not well, TV screen too, but on the phone screen, the computer screen, all the screens. Um, and another thing that I think becomes a big issue, and it has really, I've been hearing a few people talking about it, um, and it's basically, there's no more privacy anymore. Anything goes on, people gotta post it. Anything happens that people see in the streets, they gotta pull their camera out and start recording it. They gotta upload it. It ain't as big as it was a few years back, but everybody was on that world star hit tip, just heavy. Like, everything, if something go down and it look like it might get some views or it might get some attention, oh, your camera's out, instead of actually enjoying the moment. And that could be something good or bad, whether, you know, but everybody had to have their camera out. I go to I go to my kids' performances and games and all this stuff, and I see so many cameras in the air, which I understand because when I was a kid, my uncle had the big old RCA VHS recorder that sat on his shoulder and he was recording and all that. So I understand you're trying to capture the moment, but we try to capture so many moments, I believe, now that we don't even know how to be in that moment. We don't know how to experience that moment. And because of that, and because of that lack of privacy, it can create a very dangerous situation. You know, it can create um, a lot of things that probably wouldn't have come some certain people's way if they hadn't have, been so heavy on the social media. And I think about the conversation that's going around, or it was a couple of months ago. I know I heard it faintly about people posting their kids on social media, or these parents who are creating pages for their kids and posting things that they do and what they do, and in some situations it has led to that kid getting harmed, or um, not, and maybe not even physically harmed, but just some of the comments that may have been made. And if that kid got a hold of seeing it, what kind of damage that those things are doing for that child's mind, all types of things. But I think one of the biggest things that happened recently, not even recently, a couple of years ago, what was that, 2020, um, where sharing too much on social media could become fatal, was from the death of Pop Smoke. And uh, he mentions it. Papoose mentions that in this song, and he says, Pop Smoke would probably still be with us because they wouldn't have seen his location on social media. And for those of you all who don't know, Pop Smoke was a up and coming rapper. Um, I think he started making a wave early 2019 or so, or late 2019. I'm pretty sure he was putting in work before that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Other than what they played on the radio, I didn't really listen to him that much. I hadn't really dove into the Pop Smoke catalog and what he had. But I know what I did hear. It sounded like he had something promising, man. But for those of y'all who don't know, back in 2020, I think it was February. I know it was early 2020. I know it was. I think it was before the COVID shutdown. Um, he was on a vacation or something. He went. He was somewhere in a house or somewhere. I think he rented it out or something like that. But doing what people do, because he was only what 20, I think 20 years old. Doing what young people do, doing what we all do. Posting. How you're having a good time. You're out kicking it. Some of the things that you've purchased for yourself or whatever. And in one of the videos that he posted, it had the address of where he was staying on this vacation and on this trip. It had the address, you know, clear as day. Um, I guess he forgot to blur it out or whatever. And I see this all the time. People take pictures next to their cars or whatever, and got their license plate showing and everything. Little things like that. I pay attention to. But by his location and that address being seen on social media, there was a home invasion, man. And they can't. And like I said, I know just the tip of the iceberg of the story. I hadn't gone that deep into the story of what happened with Pop Smoke. I just remember it when it happened. But yeah, they ran up in the house where he was, and whatever happened, and he didn't come out alive, basically. Um, so it's little things like that have happened of recent years, and it's even happened on a local scale. But that being a high profile celebrity or up and coming rapper, for that to happen is just like, I think that's where we have to take a pause and kind of invest. Like, are we doing too much on the internet? Are we doing more than we should? Yeah, are we overstimulating ourselves with everything and putting ourselves in a unhealthy situation, in an unhealthy environment? Um, it's tough, and it's tough because, like I said earlier, you need technology for everything, man. Nowadays, you need technology for almost every single thing you do. Unless you out in the woods, one of them mountain men living off the grid, you need some level of technology for 90 to 95% of what you do on a daily basis. So it's hard. I know it's hard. But we have to find a way to disconnect, and so that we can reconnect. Because remember, it's all about building that relationship. Um, and I feel like in that disconnect, in that reconnection process, we have to learn how to tap into who is genuine with us, who is genuine around us. What is our circle looking like? Um, because everybody gets this fake love, and I'm harping on social media just because that's the one that's the most constant, man. Everybody is scrolling on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I know y'all scrolling on YouTube because y'all found this. Um, but everybody is doing something on some type of social media platform, and it's that gratification. I believe it's that gratification that they get, and you can get it constant. 24/7. You wake up in the middle of the night and you get bored. You can pick up your phone and start scrolling. You sitting in the airport waiting on your plane. You can just pick up your phone and start scrolling. You waiting in line, like I said, for food. You can pick up your phone and start scrolling. And I think it's that instant gratification that has first of all people so addicted, but two, building that facade of a connection that they're receiving from that. And not to say that the internet does not create some genuine friendships, connections, and relationships, because it does. Once again, I'm not harping down completely on technology because it is beneficial, it is needed. Um, but when you are making that your only source of making the connection, it's hard sometimes to decipher how true those connections are, how genuine those connections are, if you have not met with this person in face to face, real time, and kind of caught that vibe. Um, and the one of the last bars that we're gonna go through, that he mentions on this song, is it's in the second verse, and he says, no crying into your camera when times get hard. People will actually say their prayers and talk to God. And I wanted to highlight that one just because, I see a lot of people when they're going through something, and I've seen this from regular people, I've seen this from celebrities. I ain't gonna call nobody out, but I've seen it where they get emotional about something, they get upset about something. They really want to voice up their emotions that they're experiencing, and they immediately take to social media. Um, and sometimes it works, and they get tons of support. And people pour in the comments like, "Keep going, you got this," all types of stuff. And sometimes it backfires, um, and all the negativity comes in because you can't filter out who is going to see, first of all, everything that you're posting on the internet, and how they're going to respond. So I encourage everyone to, in those emotional times, I understand if you need to just vent, and going live or something like that is just a good way to just get it off of your chest, and have that dialogue. But if you're using it on a consistent basis as your way of coping with whatever life is dealing you, reevaluate. See if you can connect with someone in your life physically that can actually, like I said, we are balls of energy. We are balls of energy, and when we have that connection with another human, that energy gets transferred. And some people transfer that negative energy to people, and some people transfer the positive energy to people. And I feel like when you're going through something, if you can tap into someone who is going to be a physical presence and bring that physical positive energy to you, that is going to be way more beneficial and have more long lasting effects than you posting it and people chiming in the comment section, even if they're making good comments. That physical connection is something that will really help and benefit your mood, your vibe, your energy, everything. So those are the bars, man. I really want y'all to go and take a listen to that song. Um, Main thing that I would say that out of all of this and listening to this song is two things that I would like to see more people implement. And the first would be really check your social media usage, check your internet usage as far as how much you're on it. And I understand because my job, my 9 to 5, I'm in a computer majority of my day. Um, I, that's what I do. As a counselor, I have a portion of it where I'm connecting with people, but then there's also a portion where I have to be in front of that computer to get my information in, get my notes in, do data entry on other tasks that need to be done. So I understand you have to have a computer for you, but find out what if the internet and technology is draining your energy. Find out first what what app or what it is that you're using that is draining that energy. And I encourage everyone, once they tap in and figure that out, to find a way to take a social media or a technology fast. And it's just like when you're eating, you have to, and you're going through spiritual fast and all that. I think everybody needs a detox from technology every now and then. Um, I did it for the first time for myself, for an extended period of time last year for like a month where I didn't get on any social media. I didn't get on YouTube. The only internet I used was, like I said, if I had to do something for my job, but I took all social media off of my phone. I removed everything that was wasteless technology, wasteful, a waste of technology for me. And for that month, it was difficult that first week or so. But the more I got to really just tap into my mind and take a break, and I picked up more books and read and things like that, it tapped into a place where I was like, yeah, I need to do this more often. And even now, currently with social media apps and everything, I put timers on my phone. I got so many minutes a day that I allot myself to be on Instagram, YouTube, and all these other websites that I know are draining my energy. So that's the first thing I urge everyone to do is to check what's pulling your energy and fast yourself from it. I don't care if it's one day, 2 day, a month, however long you feel like you need, but just enough for you to reset, recharge, and reconnect with the world around you. And the second thing I would encourage is make a physical connection, make a non technological connection, whether that's going and pulling up on somebody that you haven't visited in a while, or actually making a phone call to someone and having a conversation, or meeting up face to face and being with that person and being in their presence and getting their energy when y'all would have typically just communicated through text messages or DMs or whatever. Make a connection with somebody and reconnect, because remember, the definition of that is a relationship in which a person, thing, or an idea is linked or associated with something else. So go out there and link and associate with something else outside of just scrolling and playing these thoughts over and over again in your mind. Um, yeah, so that's all I got for y'all today, man. Y'all go out there as soon as y'all done listening to this technology, whatever app you listening on, go out there and reset and reconnect. Take a pause. Look at the birds that are flying. Look at the sun shining. Look at the trees blowing in the wind. Look at all the blue cars that are driving on the highway. Just be cognizant of your surroundings and what you are doing. Um, every day and what you're experiencing every day. Be in the moment. I don't know how much y'all are probably going to hear me express that. Be in the moment, because that moment is all you have. Because the future has not happened, the past is already done. So when you are in the present moment, that's all you have. So be in that moment. Be in that moment. So yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got for y'all. Um, Thank y'all again for sticking with me, for riding it out. It's like a steam train, just going full steam ahead, you know. Just gotta get it, gotta grind and keep pushing. That's what I'm trying to do. But I thank everyone out there who is laying ears on this and sharing this and playing it. I appreciate the support. Y'all don't know how much it means to me. Um, Man, I definitely thank you, and I don't care if it gets 1 view or 100 views, man. I thank every eye, set of eyes and ears that have graced this podcast, man. So I'm thankful. I'm humble for y'all. Man, don't forget, y'all go listen to the song, check it out. Y'all know me reading the bars definitely doesn't do the same justice as hearing the artist go through. So yeah, y'all click on the link when y'all are done and go check out the song "The Internet Is Gone" by Papoose, or like I said, Mr. Shamel Mackey. And y'all know what it is, man. Y'all go subscribe, y'all comment, y'all share this, y'all tell all your people about it. We live, we going, man. So y'all already know what it is, man. Until next week, man. Y'all be easy. Y'all be cool.